Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another scene set in darkness in Dublin, a Vampire the Masquerade venue. Tonight, we set the scene just outside the Heron and Grey, now renamed the Leaf Restaurant. Fun news. As the restaurant has changed hands in the original partnership between those who once owned the establishment has been dissolved, and the restaurant is being administratively restructured. Francis, now the seneschal, once the sheriff, has called one of his clanmates, Charlotte Monroe, to a brief discussion with, to be held within this fine restaurant, within the domain of Blackrock, of course. He can be seen waiting, leaning against a car, has an umbrella out as the rain pours down, just waiting outside very patiently.
About a few minutes later, there will be a very nice late model luxury sedan pulling up against the curb, windshield wipers going. He'll notice that the car has a matte black paint job on it, very nice, and the car has very nice rims on its tires, and engine will cut. Well, she'll park the car. The engine will cut. We'll turn the headlights off. She'll open the door and step out with. She's wearing a rather heavy wool pea coat. She has an umbrella so as to not get her clothes wet. She's wearing a really nice, sleek cut black dress with a pleated skirt. She has gloves on and tall leather boots. Hair is done up nicely. Makeup's done really nicely as well. And she'll walk over to the entrance of, well, no, she'll say hello to Seneschal Beaumont first, and she'll say good evening. And she'll motion towards the door so as to get out of the rain.
Good evening, Charlotte.
Good evening, Seneschal Beaumont. Nice to finally officially meet you. And she'll actually stick her hand out to shake his.
Yeah. He's old enough to be a bit of a courtier, so he'll take her hand and kiss it if she sees it as appropriate.
She does. And she'll say, "Shall we?"
Of course. You're looking mighty beautiful this evening.
Oh, well, thank you. You look rather handsome yourself. And she'll walk to the door, and she'll shut her umbrella and shake the water off of it. I assume that there are receptacles for holding umbrellas and the like.
Yeah, this is a fairly upper-class restaurant, has a Michelin star, so...
Okay.
Yeah, and Francis will have the two of them taken to to a private table. The restaurant is actually closed currently. It's going to reopen soon. Because of the handover, it's been temporarily shut.
Right.
So yeah, you have a kind of, they have the restaurant to themselves.
I see. Okay. Well, she will hang her coat up. The dress that she's wearing is, of course, designer. It's very nice. It fits her very well. You think it's probably tailored. And she takes her gloves off and she sticks them in the pocket of her coat. And she has a very nice handbag with her. And she'll walk over to the table and wait. She'll wait for him to sit down first before she does.
Oh no, he'll pull out a seat for her.
Okay. She'll sit down and let him scoot her in. Are you having a good evening?
Given the circumstances, it's been reasonably quiet.
Quiet is a something to look forward to. Uneventful is always nice. I have just come from meeting with Keeper Rothschild, and he had we've been socializing with each other frequently as of late, and he's very pleasant company, I must say. There was a matter that I wished to put to you. And I'm curious to see what you'll think. As you know, we seem to find ourselves without a sheriff at the moment. Has the prince possibly mentioned any candidates for the position?
Francis looks... Oh, sorry.
If you can share that information, of course. If you can't, I understand and respect that.
Francis, how to say, he looks a bit disappointed this is strictly business. Could say he almost, kind of in a sense, it almost, not quite, but it almost bores him. Or annoys him. You're not quite sure.
She will pick up on that. And she will say, of course, my dear. There's always time for pleasure later.
His eyes kind of meet with yours again, and he just says, well, I would love to get to know you. You are, of course, an honored member of my clan.
Of course, and a member of your family, as it were.
Bloodline.
Yes. You are, if I recall correctly, my uncle by blood.
To be honest, I don't ascribe too much comparison between mortal blood and kindred. I find them to be quite distinct, and comparing them to generally be inaccurate at best,
It was simply a
inappropriate
figure.
at worst.
It was simply a figure of speech. I apologize if I've given any offense.
It's quite all right. It's merely my personal opinion.
Of course. But yes, we do seem to share blood, which I was surprised to learn about, considering I did
Well,
not expect to meet someone who stemmed from the same bloodline as I in this city. So it was quite a pleasant surprise, I think.
it is, but then again, I find our bloodline to be one of the most active and prolific among our clan.
I agree wholeheartedly. Have you spent much time around the Prince of Paris?
Princes. My grandsire and I lived in Paris for many years.
I was there before my embrace, as well as after the First Great War. And then I do believe I spent some time there, I think in, what was it, the 30s, perhaps? After World War II? So it
You mean
will,
50s?
oh, 50s. So that will give you some kind of indication of her age.
I find you. I apologize for noting this out loud, but I see that you speak in very recent terms.
I like to keep up with the times.
You're not too far removed from them.
No, I shouldn't think so. She just smiles at him, kind of like a really genuine smile.
It is good to see you've kept up uh, in various different ways. A person who gets to have only really kept up in one particular fashion,
How do
other
you
than
mean?
the absolute minimum.
How do you mean?
He kind of makes a gun symbol with his left hand, pointing it towards the ceiling. Kind of wriggles with it a little bit.
She looks a little confused, like she doesn't understand what you're talking about.
Weapons.
Yes, what about weapons?
It's the only real way in which I've kept up with the modern world.
I feel like hmm, I feel like I've kept up with the modern world in a variety of ways. I was in Paris around.
I'd hate for my observations to be wrong.
I was in Paris around the early 1880s, I think. Around the same time that burlesque and cabaret were becoming rather popular amongst mortals, and I feel like I kept that with me. It deviates from the norm, which I can appreciate.
Culture has very much accelerated in the past century. It's refreshing.
Yes, it has. In some ways good, in some ways less so.
Yes, there was a rejected outcast of our clan here who was talking about something called vaporwave.
Is that something to do with science?
It's some genre of music, from what I hear.
She looks like there's a bad taste in her mouth. mm, I see. Well,
Uh, he had ran away from his sire. He is. He was ultimately an example of one of the more reckless of our kind's embraces,
yeah.
particularly in how more recent kindred go about such things.
Well, our proclivities for capricious embraces can be overwhelming sometimes.
Mm.
We we find something we like, we see something that's pretty, and we want to preserve it. But in preserving it, it can become ruined. I don't necessarily think that a majority of our clan embrace wisely.
Oh, I disagree. I believe most of our kind, even those outside of our clan, generally embrace with some degree of caution, or at the barest or stands at the barest minimum common sense. It just appears that many younger kindred of the night seem very reticent to act with the same degree of
Yeah.
of patience.
I don't disagree necessarily with the amount of caution that we use to select a child or childer, but sometimes the embraces of our clan are done in the midst of passion, and we lose sight of that caution, I think. But that's simply my opinion.
Well, we aren't Ventru.
No, we are not. I was not born in a boardroom.
No, I believe they are what our clan would look like if we lacked any sense of cultural finesse.
Yes, I would. I would dread that. I dread the very thought of that.
Francis will order some food.
She will order a glass of wine that she doesn't drink.
We'll take some time for the food to be cooked, so yeah, he just orders something obnoxious and expensive.
Who, her?
No, Francis.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
I take it you aren't particularly hungry.
No, not particularly, no.
A concept that can be taught, though.
Can it?
If you ever feel the desire.
I do miss the taste of food on occasion, yes. I can't remember the last thing that I had that wasn't blood. Probably my birthday dinner, actually. And she looks kind of amused at the thought. I'm like, huh, that was the last thing that she ate was her birthday dinner.
How old were you at the time?
23. I had just turned 23. My sire has a very particular sense of humor. He embraced me on my birthday.
If nothing else, I suppose it keeps It makes keeping track of your various anniversaries simple.
That's true. By my count, it's 156, I think. 155? And something like that. But yes. He was he is like a father to me.
I'm glad you seem to have found, or that you did find, an earnest and loving sire. I'm happy to say I was equally as fortunate.
There were moments when I think at first I hated him for what he did to me, as we all do with our sires. But
there are always moments, dear.
Yeah. But I think after a time I came to be accepting and then grateful, because he gave me an opportunity, as it were. And taught me to take advantage of the opportunity that he gave me, and I have.
Oh, I see you're very good at taking advantage of opportunities.
Yes. Sometimes with good intentions, but not necessarily with wisdom.
Such is the nature of our passions.
Yes. And our pride.
His face flattens ever so slightly when you mention the word pride. For the record, I do not hold what occurred against you. Unlike so many others, who frankly I believe are acting quite arrogantly and childish themselves on the issue.
I think that they have perhaps every reason to behave as they are, but I think that they misinterpret my intentions when it comes to the things that I do.
I believe it's much more simple than that. I believe they simply wish for a scapegoat. The simple truth is if anyone else destroyed the Archbishop in that moment, they would have released the Seventh Seal, and no one at that gathering was without pride. In fact, perhaps the most humble thing one could have done was to admit they did kill with pride in their heart. Maybe that was our one recourse, or to simply leave him torpid for the sun. But perhaps perhaps an indirect murder. It is still an act of killing. It may have still have broken the seal. Ultimately, it is difficult to say. And
I think the lack of certainty makes some individuals rather uncomfortable. So, yeah.
Well, if they truly wish to choose this moment for a tantrum, then they may. And then, after Aisha is dead and gone, I can report to my Justicar that those individuals failed to aid in stopping the Red Lister, and they can be dealt with as a matter of course. I have no interest in these petty tantrums and...
I think... I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Please continue.
Well, I was just going to say, acts of naive politicking. Normally I'd call this anything but naive, but this truly is.
Yes, I think I agree with you. I personally think that the lack of initiative on so many individuals' parts is disconcerting when there's such a large issue at hand. And I think part of the reason why I did what I did is nobody told me not to. Nobody informed me of anything. Nobody gave me any information pertaining to the subject at hand. So I didn't know any better. Perhaps I should have left it alone and not done anything about it. But if
And,
I hadn't, somebody else would have.
not Primogen Brightman, I believe, did bring up the matter at hand just before the killing.
Mm.
Ultimately makes little difference. Even if he may believe he could kill the Archbishop without pride, but frankly, that in and of itself is a statement of confidence. So it is either a matter of objective truth in that he did truly possess no pride in his heart, or the statement itself is one of pride. I am inclined to believe the latter. It is no insult to Primogen Brightman, but to act without pride. All beings have pride to some extent. To be completely humble, to be without pride, is to be missing a part of yourself. Pride is not inherently a negative.
And we as kindred are excessively proud.
A society very much is contingent upon us at many times saving face.
Of course, I agree with you. I would like to help fix the mistake that I made. And there is a way that I think I could go about doing that. But I need your help.
You were asking about the sheriff title earlier?
Yes. If it pleases him, I would very much like to put forth my candidacy for that position. I would also like your help in obtaining it.
I suppose that depends somewhat on what the prince decrees, but needless to say, I have his ear.
Of course. As a seneschal, of course you have his ear.
I could perhaps influence his judgment in your direction, or whatever it is he has planned in your direction. And if not, I can at least give you advance warning as to what may be about to occur. He has said little on the subject, yes, and I believe that's largely because, well, we've got much bigger threats to be dealing with immediately.
But he does need someone to enforce his will.
Yes.
And I am... and she hesitates for a moment and says, I would be honored if he was to select me to be his sheriff. I've proven myself capable in combat. I have proven myself to be fair. I know I've only met Prince Hennessy once when he was seneschal for Prince Thrain. But hold on. I feel like I have proven myself more than capable, combatively, for that position. For him, for you, were you to aid me in this endeavor, It would strengthen the position of your clan, our clan, within the city. It would strengthen our political hold. And I do believe that it would hmm, um it may very well be the best choice because yes, there are several other candidates that could possibly pick up the mantle of sheriff of Dublin, but and this is no offense to Miss Stevenson. I've only seen her fight once, but I do believe a certain amount of assertiveness is required for such a position. Um, I do enjoy her company, and I don't wish to offend you, as she was your hound, nor do I wish to offend her by um, describing her behavior as such. I have already had ideas as to who I would name my hound, or hounds, as it were. I do believe Amboise of Clan La Sombra would make an excellent candidate for a hound, and I do believe that in the process of naming him Hound, it would possibly appease Primogen von Essen to give him a station of some sort. And I also do believe that it would make our Primogen very happy if I were to take up that mantle. And of course, I would appreciate your mentorship, as I've never held the title before or the position. I will need to be tutored in the responsibilities of a sheriff and what they entail. Though I do imagine our dear Prince Hennessy will. Hmm, what's the word?
Don't say that before anybody else, or they will write you off.
I'm sorry?
But you'll need to be tutored in the responsibilities of being a sheriff.
Oh, of course.
As
I say all of this in confidence with you,
of
as a member of my clan.
course, he actually takes your hand and
Mhm. You'll notice that she has a fresh manicure.
yeah. And the way he kind of holds it and just touches it, it's almost it's more studious than anything else.
Mm-hmm. She has. You'll notice that she does have very soft hands, and she'll make eye contact with him, and she'll look into his eyes while he's talking to her.
He just kind of looks down at her hand. Um, there is a smile almost as soft as Charlotte's hands,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, he simply says, "Your hands are very soft."
Yes.
Combat must be a fairly recent experience for you.
No, it's not.
You did much fighting before your embrace?
Mm, I grew up in a rather rough neighborhood, so yes, I did. And she says that rather matter of factly.
He's actually gonna perception empathy that, because that actually is a statement that matters to him to some extent.
Okay.
He has 6 successes.
She's telling the truth.
Hmm.
Are you reading her aura, or are you just trying to see if she's lying to you?
Actually, he will read her aura as well.
Okay.
Yeah, he gets 6 successes on that as well.
Okay. I'm not actually sure what the colors are like. But
Okay. Let me get you the colors because I love the colors.
Can you actually post that in our Facebook chat?
Oh, I would love to. Evan, if you're
Please.
seeing this scene, it's happening again. I love colors. Don't you love the colors, Evan? Okay, one sec.
Is he watching? Or
No, but he is. No, he knows. There you go.
okay.
It's all in the chat.
Oh, they're in the side chat.
Where do you mean? Yeah.
I can't see the side chat because I'm on my phone.
Oh, damn it. Where do you mean to put them?
Oh, just in the Facebook, our Facebook chat with each other. It's fine.
Okay.
If you can like copy pasta that'd be great.
There you go.
Hold on. Let me see if I can do this without the call dropping. Please don't drop. Please don't drop. Okay, cool. Let's see. So you will see light blue. Mixed with probably some lavender. And a little bit of violet because she's a little bit she's a little bit excited because she's kind of nervous. Oh wait, they don't have a color for nervous, do they?
Anxious is the aura appears a little bit scrambled, kind of like static.
Okay, so yeah, her aura is a little bit there's a little bit of static, but other than that she's got light blue and probably a little bit of violet. So she's like fluctuating between anxious, calm, and excited, which is kind of disconcerting, maybe a little bit. But it's like she's calm, but she's excited about what she's talking about. Like her mood in general is she's really relaxed. So.
And yet you've retained your delicacy. I'm quite impressed.
Hmm.
You might find my hands to be quite rough. I was a soldier in life. Unusual candidate for the Toreador, in hindsight.
I'd say so. But I suppose the art of war is legitimate.
You know that whenever that phrase is actually no, unless you're reading his aura, you wouldn't get it.
I'm not actually. I don't think she's gonna read his aura right now.
Okay, yeah.
So.
I'll keep that a secret then.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm no artist.
I find that to be rather curious. But yeah, you will tell that she's not lying about the fact that she grew up in a rough neighborhood. And if you want to ask her where she grew up at, she will tell you.
Oh no, he'll just continue. But that you've retained your beauty in the face of such violence, it is reassuring to me.
I was rather fortunate in that, I think.
Where did you grow up? I'm curious now.
I grew up in the Whitechapel neighborhood of London.
Interesting. Had it been a bit different time, we may have met each other.
Perhaps. But yes, some would say that I'm from the gutter, but looking at me, you wouldn't think it. You will notice that she does have um a significant London accent.
Yeah, Francis's accent has somewhat mellowed with the fact that he comes across as more cosmopolitan than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to place an accent on him, it's perhaps very vaguely central London sort of area.
Okay.
City of London. Well, yeah.
Okay. But yes, she says yes. I grew up in Whitechapel, near Spitalfields.
And yet you've not only retained your beauty, but you bear no scars for the time there.
None that you can see.
He kind of, when you say that, his head actually tilts a little bit, and he looks very, very curious.
She kind of leans back and she rests both of her hands on her stomach.
What's that aura look like?
Oh boy, let me open this again. Silver, which is sad. Um, it's mostly silver, and a little bit of white, and some blue, in there.
Huh.
And her expression kind of shifts from being confident to kind of she's a straight face, like she's trying to retain her composure.
You are under no obligation to tell me. It is quite all right.
I have already told you, just not in so many words.
Accurate. He smiles, quite amused by the by her eloquence.
Mm-hmm. And she'll go back to the position that she was in before, and she'll put her she actually rests her elbows, like crosses her arms and rests them on the table.
At this point, Francis' food for it probably comes.
Probably.
It smells delicious.
I'm glad I don't have heightened senses on. Because she'd probably frenzy. I'm just kidding. No, she wouldn't do that. But
She's more likely to become entranced.
Yeah.
Craft Fife cooking, baby.
Jesus. Oh, you're gonna make me hungry. Okay. So she'll sit back and did they bring a glass of wine for her? I assume. Yeah, if they did, she'd kind of just swirls the wine around in the glass and smells it. She does have is it? Oh no, she doesn't have a cute scent smell, but she does sniff the wine in the glass, wishing she could drink it.
Francis just begins eating the food. He's very tidy about it. You can tell that he very much enjoys the act of eating. Seems to be a fun pastime for him.
She can imagine that.
He's a bit of a carnivore from what you can see on his dish.
Is he eating steak?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Probably like some really nice cut of steak. Oh god, now I'm getting hungry. But yeah, she'll sit there and wait for him to talk, possibly between bites.
Oh yeah, he only takes small chunks of meat for bone. I could help you. I'm inclined to. But beating me to my own words. Yes, I'm afraid there are always strings attached. I would ask for something in return.
Name your price.
He actually considers this pretty carefully as he eats. In fact, he uses the act of eating as a means to simply give him time to consider.
Which is clever, I must say.
I would be inclined to request a blood boon to be repaid at a later date.
Out of character, what is a blood boon?
That's the second highest tier of boon. It's literally one step below a life boon.
Okay.
It's nasty. It's a pretty nasty boon. They can take a long time to pay off. Getting rid of a blood boon can be pretty difficult. It can be used to get you to betray your own clan consistently. It can be used to get you to give away unique clan disciplines, teach clan secrets. In order to pay it off, you basically have to effectively risk your existence on behalf of the person you owed a boon to. So if you could go against your clan, but unless that actively risks your existence, as in they, like, for example, the Tremere declare you a rogue and decide to hunt you down, it wouldn't pay off the boon. It can also be paid off by fully blood bonding yourself to the person you owed a boon to. That's why it's called a blood boon, because it can be repaid via a blood bond. Of course, at that point, what's the difference?
A blood boon to be repaid at a later date. Is that price negotiable?
He doesn't answer. He eats.
I'm willing to do 3 major boons, but not a blood boon. Or I give you the major boon that I have from Mithras.
You don't want to give me that.
Would we need to blood bond if I accept your terms?
Francis, actually, what does her aura look like when she says that?
Let me pull that up again. Give me 1 second. Dark. Mm-hmm. She probably a mix between. There's some light green in there. There's definitely some purple. Lavender. And probably probably some deep red, but not towards him, towards the position that she's after.
That's disappointing.
Does he say that out loud?
No.
What's disappointing?
No, he doesn't say that out loud. That would no, but he's thinking it.
I don't have aspects that high. I'm actually can you roll 3 dice for me, please? I'm gonna burn a willpower. I want to see what his aura says.
You've only got 3 dice for aura perception?
I have no empathy. Are you kidding me right now?
Jesus Christ. Okay. What's your Auspex level?
3. So it would be a difficulty 5.
Okay, 5F1. I'll put #WP.
And I gotta I'm gonna burn a willpower to see
Yeah, you got 1 success, so you know that he is in fact a vampire.
God damn it, I've been doing really poorly with that lately. I need to like
you got 3 dice.
I know. I always have to burn willpower whenever I do fucking aura perception.
Empathy is boss. Get more empathy.
Yeah.
#best stat. Honestly, if you want to interrogate people, you're gonna need empathy.
True. Just a pair of really sharp heels and some rope.
Okay. Uh-oh. Francis will just go. I would never. Even if I were to accrue a blood boon over you, I would not demand such a thing from you. I have no desire to rob you of your will in my presence. That would be unnecessary and cruel.
Yeah. I've realized the price that blood boons can cost.
Yes, they are costly, but they sometimes must be paid.
You will actually notice her aura shifts back to silver, and it's silver and red. Oh, and there's a bit of blue in there too.
He finishes his meal at this point. He has it taken away almost immediately. I wouldn't have you give the boon that you've been granted via Prince Mithras. You will need it.
Perhaps, yeah.
You will. Allow me to put it like this. I was very appreciative of even a minor boon from Prince Mithras. I did not believe it to be truly necessary until Primogen Catcher was held at gunpoint in her own chantry.
She looks a little surprised by that. Like she was not expecting those words to pass your lips.
I had all but 5 minutes to ensure her safety. There would have been nothing I could do, apart from a simple minor boon, which resolved the situation within a moment.
I see.
A minor boon. saved somebody's life, because the one who granted it to me was that mighty. You possess a boon of even greater magnitude, and I have noted that you have garnered your fair share of detractors in court. Not necessarily unjustified, but perhaps in their haste they have prejudged you unfairly.
Perhaps.
I would be inclined to say that they have, to be completely honest.
Counter offer. Should I gain the title of sheriff and maintain the title and position of sheriff due to your help and assistance, I will fulfill a blood boon for you. But only, and she holds up a finger, only if I gain the position and keep it. Therefore, you will be responsible for helping me keep it.
I would never accept a boon from you unless you acquired the role.
She will do something rather uncouth that he probably won't like, but she spits in her hand and sticks it out.
And something she may find a bit strange as well. What he does is actually there's a moment where he closes his eyes. You see he inhales, and he looks very focused. It's very brief, and then he will take the hand that you spat your blood on, and he will actually he will take it and he will close it, and he will say, 3 majors.
3 majors? Done. No. I redact that. 2 majors and a minor. Because once I become sheriff, they're worth a great deal more.
Okay. I guess this is suitable for someone who has no empathy dice. That does aggravate him actually significantly. You can tell he looks angry at that.
Okay, 3.
I wanted to spare you risking your free will.
And I appreciate that. I meant no offense. I apologize. Three major?
I downgraded the cost as an act of kindness.
And again, I did not mean to offend you. I do apologize.
Every time a blood boon was mentioned, you were upset by something.
Yeah. And her aura will shift back to what it was when you mentioned when we were talking about the blood boon.
I don't like seeing you or any of my clanmates so upset, and I do not wish that to constantly be looming over your head like some unpleasant cloud.
I appreciate that. Sometimes my manners do run away with me or run away from me, and I sincerely apologize. Please forgive me. And she actually she won't make eye contact with him until if and when he accepts her apology.
You are my clanmate. Just call me Francis.
Yes, Francis.
You don't need to be so formal with me. I appreciate it, and it says a lot about you. But you don't need to.
It's simply an act of respect on my part towards you.
I know. But you have a pleasant face and a kind soul.
She kind of laughs a little bit, and you will actually see her her voice breaks a little bit, and she pulls out a handkerchief that you may recognize. Actually, I don't think he gave that to her. Never mind. She'll actually pull out a handkerchief, and she'll kind of dab her eyes to keep the blood off of her face.
How's that aura look?
Sad. It's mostly sad. I'm not sure if you can kind of distinguish what kind of sadness it is, but she's sad. It's possible that she's missing somebody. Or
I was going to say would not do to see you so upset, but I appear to have made the situation worse. My apologies.
Oh no, it's not you. It's yeah. Events that took place for me that I was not expecting to happen. Wow. And she will kind of shut down about the topic a little bit. Question. Has he spent a lot of time around the Keeper of Elysium?
A little bit.
Okay. All right. There may or may not be the faint scent of his cologne on her. So, is 3 major boons acceptable?
Yes, but only so we can stop talking about it.
Yes, please. The less I have to talk about this right now, the happier I am. But yes, that's okay. And that that's reasonable. And she'll just nod, rather frankly. And she'll go back to sniffing her wine.
I really need to find a better venue for hosting these meetings.
I'm working on that.
I find the other party rarely has anything to do.
Well, I was actually not too long ago speaking with Keeper Rothschild about possibly putting together an Elysium, and that would double as a rack.
Smart
But
idea.
that's on the back burner, as it were, at the moment, given our current situation.
Hmm. How panicked has everybody been acting? Tell me.
I haven't spoken with Katya, or excuse me, Primogen von Essen. Probably since our trip to, no, probably since Waterford that last evening. I haven't spoken to much of anybody besides Primogen Noir and Keeper Rothschild, and you, of course. I'm supposed to be meeting a young gentleman by the name of Sebastian at some point.
Oh, yes, I believe he's menteed by the keeper.
I suspected as much.
Yes, do be careful, he's a known dabblerist.
She just looks kind of impatient when Francis tells her that. Ugh. Yes, I don't think I'll have any issues handling that.
Supposedly he did it by accident, but who can tell?
Well, it's always an accident when it becomes inconvenient for the person involved.
Drained his sire dry.
Oh, wow. She actually looks kind of amused when he tells her that. That's very unique, yes. Well.
Supposedly took offense to his transformation.
I mean, to be fair, most of us take offense to our transformation.
Still.
But not quite to such an extent as that.
Quite correct.
My lord. Well. I see. Okay. I will definitely be keeping both eyes on that one.
Yes, he's also quite ignorant about our ways. He's very young.
Well, who better than the potential sheriff to teach him about our traditions?
Well, it was me who had to bring him in and everything when he entered the city, but obviously now the situation's changed.
Well, Keeper Rothschild seems to be a very firm yet compassionate individual, it seems. So I'm sure he's guiding him well.
It's only right for him to try and guide his wayward clanmate.
Of course. As with you and Katrina? Is that her name? I've only met her once or twice. What is the situation with that, if you don't mind my asking? She seems rather young.
She was embraced, but her sire abandoned her upon embracing her.
What cruelty.
Cowardly act, unfitting for one of our clan, to be frank.
I agree.
But she has been accepted into the city and he's become a harpy. I intend to release it from my accounting very soon. In fact, I may do as such tonight, to be honest.
If she seems to have proven herself worthy, then of course.
She has done.
Good.
No, she's a very talented and compassionate young woman. I was proud to have her as my county.
When I met her at the Giovanni Gala, she seemed to be very forthright, I think.
She didn't used to be. That was something I had to teach her. Took some time.
Of course.
But she is very honest with people.
Honesty can sometimes be the best policy, you know.
Mm.
She actually looks thoughtful when she says that. And she gives kind of an unknowing smile, and her aura will shift back to light blue, which is calm, and a little bit of vermilion, which is happy.
I'm glad to see that you're taking everything quite well. I was worried that you two might be in a bit of a state considering everything that's happened, but I'm glad to see you're pulling through.
I do my best. It's not been easy, especially being new here and so much happening. But there've been a few moments where the stresses of kindred life have definitely taken their toll. But I think that I managed to pull through stressful situations rather well.
You have done.
I appreciate your saying so. It's kind for someone to say it. Well, when I say that, I mean it's kind to hear it.
Oh no, please don't retract the compliment.
No, it is nice to hear it be said by none others than yourself, of course. I know that things have been rather tumultuous lately with the situation with the cathedral, the situation with the Sabbat, the situation with Lord Ishar, and etc., etc., etc. Between practice being called, Lord Mithras arriving, it's been rather hectic around here, and sometimes it's hard to find a moment for yourself to take a breath, so to speak, just to feel the calm and not all of this chaos. Um, she takes a deep breath that she doesn't need to take, kind of just to calm herself down a little bit. And she'll look up at Francis, and she'll kind of just smile at him like she's genuinely happy to be in his company.
He's very happy to know that the light green's gone away.
What's the light green? What's the light green? Distrustful.
The distrust.
Yeah. No, she's kind of just calmed down at the moment. So it's all light blue. Light blue? No, yeah, light blue. It's mostly light blue at the moment.
Yeah. We'll just kind of place his hands on, his hand on hers, and we'll just simply say, I'm glad I got this chance to know you.
Me too. I feel like it's been far too drawn out, our meeting. It should have happened far sooner than it did, but I'm glad that we've been able to take this time to speak with one another and to get to know each other just a little bit more. And you are excellent company, I must admit.
Likewise.
Thank you.
And we finally got business out of the way, thank God.
Yes, thank God. Ugh. Mm. Oh, did you know that Portia actually has a new club? Would you like to go with me? Unless you have other business, of course.
You mean fawns, yes?
I'm sorry?
Do you mean fawns?
I'm not actually sure what the name of her club is. Um, but I guess yeah, was it called Thorns?
Mm-hmm.
Like like rose thorns?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do believe that is the name of her establishment.
I was there for opening night. I believe
That's
your great grandsire was there. You're descended from Prince Vion, yes?
that's the Prince of Paris, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that would be correct. So yes, that is actually her great grandsire, which is your grandsire.
Mm-hmm.
So yes.
He was present for that. It
Oh,
was. Oh no, it was quite possibly the greatest performance. Well, no, it was actually that's incorrect. It was the greatest performance I had ever seen in all of my centuries.
oh my goodness. I Primogen Noir actually told me that he was at the Grand Masquerade about a month and a half ago,
Yes.
right before I arrived here, and this is the second time that I have missed him since I've been here. Ugh.
The Grand Masquerade was the opening of Fawns. They were one and the same.
Oh God. She looks actually like visibly upset. Like she really wanted to be there for that.
Maybe sometime I shall share the memory with you.
That would be exquisite. I would really like that. Would you like to go? I'm not necessarily dressed for it, but I mean, I don't mind to stop and change.
Sure, why not?
Okay. So Francis and Charlotte are gonna go clubbing. Sweet.
Mm,
Do you wanna cut our scene there, or
sure.
I mean, it seems like a good place to cut it.
Just so you know, because I think it's really funny.
Uh huh.
Fawns is notably a BDSM club.
Even better. Even better. As long as there's dancing and loud music, Charlotte doesn't really care. So
Fair enough. I think there is a lot of that as well, to be fair.
so yeah. Um. Okay. Cool. Francis and Charlotte are gonna go clubbing.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. And I guess we can end our scene there. That was good.
Yep. Thank you, Claire, for playing Poker Watchers watching. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye.